The better your marketing, the easier it's going to be to sell. Think about it for a second. On one hand, you have people coming into your sales process and they don't quite know you. They're looking at all your competitors and they're just wondering why they even booked the call in the first place. On the other hand, imagine prospects coming in and booking a call. They already know about you. They know why you're better. They already trust you. They've looked at your case studies and they just have some questions. Imagine which kind of sales process is actually easier and wins more deals. Now, when it comes to a marketing strategy today, there are two totally different playbooks being run. The fastest and best growing SaaS and AI companies today are following a whole new SaaS marketing strategy, a whole new playbook to drive growth. The ones that are struggling, they're following the old playbook. Here's the difference between the old way and the new way of doing SaaS marketing today. In the old way, what you're really doing is basically buying shared leads. This is where you're putting in your money into G2, into Google Blue Links, into Capterra, into Trust Radius, and you're saying, hey, if someone's interested in buying my type of solution, here's some money, send those leads to me. The problem is they're selling you those leads, but they're also selling those leads to all of your competitors, which is why you're essentially buying shared leads. The new way to do it is not to wait for your ideal customers to end up in one of those sites searching for a solution, but to actually interrupt them in social media. This is where the new playbook comes in, where you're actually doing demand acquisition. You're doing direct social with organic and paid ads, you're educating, and those leads are coming to you instead of the other way around. This is the new SaaS marketing strategy, the new SaaS marketing playbook that's driving growth in today, in 2026 and beyond. So in this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 principles that you absolutely need to know on what makes this strategy work. And when you understand these 3 principles, you are gonna be able to accelerate your path to the next stage of growth. Intro. My last company, ToutApp, we pioneered the sales engagement category. Sales engagement, the $5 billion category where you can actually load up a platform with a whole bunch of contacts and completely spam them and get meetings. Here's the thing, we were backed by the likes of Andreessen Horowitz, Jackson Square Ventures, Founder Collective, and even Jason Calacanis. We scaled that company and we exited it to a market leader called Marketo. Here's the thing though, back then, Outbound worked really well because it was so hard to do, and platforms like ours just made it easier. And today, there are so many Outbound companies, Outbound platforms, where you can load up 100,000 contacts and completely spam people's inboxes. However, today, the response rate is nearly 1%. It is absolutely terrible because buyers are just kind of over it. Buyers are also over being hit up by multiple vendors just because they went to G2 or Capterra and said, hey, I'm kind of interested in this kind of platform. They are completely over being sold to. This is why the fastest growing companies today are employing a whole new playbook to drive growth. And buyers actually love it, which is why it's working so well. So gone are the old ways of buying shared leads, and the new way is to acquire exclusive demand. So in this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 principles that really makes this strategy work. So if you're excited to dig in, go and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's go to principle number 1. Principle number 1 is to not wait for buying shared leads, but actually go on social media and do educational content on organic and paid social. Now, there's a way to do this that's the right way and the wrong way. The wrong way is having your execs or yourself, if you're the only person doing marketing, posting all the chuggy stuff that gets a bunch of likes. That doesn't work. You'll get a bunch of likes, but you're gonna be a broke influencer, which is what most people posting on LinkedIn today are. What you really wanna do is post educational content that educates your ideal customers about how to solve the problems that makes it necessary for them to have your solution. So you wanna be talking about the problems you're solving for your existing customers. You wanna talk about the macro trends. You wanna talk about what you're learning as you're dealing with your customers and interacting with your customers. And you wanna talk about what the before and the after looks like when they get your solution. You're not selling your solution, not yet. You're actually educating them on how to think about solving this problem, and you're highlighting the problem to them, making them aware that they're not the only ones with it and there is a solution out there for them so that they can actually start to get into the buyer journey. Now, you can do this either under all the execs through organic social. The way we like to do it is basically get every single team member to do organic social content and then use the company account to promote that content under the thought leader ads in LinkedIn. Most of the companies that I do this with are on LinkedIn because they're B2B and B2B works really well. So you do posts on organic and then you do thought leader ads to boost those organic posts to your ICP. There are some cases where you might be B2C or B2 SMB, like smaller businesses, truly smaller businesses, in which case you can do Meta, you can do Facebook and Instagram. Over there, organic is a lot harder, so you basically have to do it under the company brand and do the same type of organic content, educational content, and that works just fine as well. But the key here is instead of waiting for them to go into all those sites where you're buying shared leads, you actually go direct to them and start serving them and start educating them about the problem that you solve. This is super powerful because number one, you actually build trust. They get to know you and they're like, oh, this is totally a problem. It's cool to know that we can deal with it in different ways. It's cool to know that we're not the only ones with this problem. Complete game changer. The second thing that happens is you structure these posts in a way where you're not trying to get likes. You're not trying to be popular. You're just trying to attract and educate your ideal customers. That's what makes the biggest difference. And that's what takes us to principle number 2. For each of these posts, for these thought leader posts, for even these meta ads, the new marketing strategy, the demand acquisition strategy says, offer a 5-slide deck as a lead magnet. Meaning you offer them educational content in the post, you actually educate them, you teach them the transformation, but then say, hey, if you want to learn more about this, grab a copy of and you name your guide. And that links to a 5-slide deck as a lead magnet. Now, the name could be any number of things, but what tends to work best is you give it a certain number of points and you call it a guide. And in the middle is basically what the outcome is that you are talking about. Let me give you an example. This entire episode is actually brought to you by the folks at Instant. Instant is a demand acquisition platform, and they're the best ways to implement this strategy that I'm teaching you. But let's actually get to how they actually implement everything they teach to grow their own company. So Instant, if you go to their website, useinstant.com, you'll learn about how you can start posting organic content. You can create a lead magnet, you can get inbound leads, and follow this new playbook of marketing. But it doesn't stop there. If you go all the way towards the bottom of the page, you'll see their lead magnet. You'll see their lead magnet. It's a 5-slide deck, just like what I'm promising you and teaching you over here. It's their 5-point demand acquisition strategy guide. So right now you're seeing YouTube content, organic, social, it's educational, it's teaching you about this new playbook on how to do marketing, and we're offering you a guide. So this works really well. So you can go to useinstant.com, and I'll also link to it in the description below and grab a copy of the guide to see what this looks like, and you can actually understand how Instant can help you implement all of this. Now, you don't have to go anywhere right now because I want to dive into what the third principle is, because this is what brings it all together. This is what makes sales easy. But before I do that, if you're getting value from this, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. I also drop an episode like this every single Sunday, going into the trenches on what's working today to grow SaaS and AI companies. That's all I do in this channel. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. You'll get notified every single time I drop an episode like this. Okay, now principle number 3. So you're doing the educational content. This is an example of one, and you don't have to become a YouTuber like me. Posting on LinkedIn, ads on Meta work great for this. And Instant is a great platform that facilitates all of this. It even writes the content for you. It's super powerful. You then want to offer a 5-slide deck. So I just gave you an example of that. You should definitely download a copy of that. The third thing that happens is now you're not getting a bunch of likes, you're getting leads. Because the right buyers, your ideal customers, are watching the content, reading the content and saying, oh my God, this solves my problem. For example, I'm tired of actually buying shared leads and then going outbound into them along with all my competitors. I hate that. I want to get in early. I want to educate them. I want to tip the odds towards me. So I'm going to grab a copy of that guide. So that's what happens. So what happens when you actually put this into play, this new marketing playbook, is you start getting inbound leads. This is where the fun starts. Because just because someone became a lead doesn't mean they're always ready to book a call and buy. There's a journey that follows. And this is where the new marketing playbook really shines. There's a few things you have to put in place. Number one, you want to have a direct CTA. So right after they download the guide, you want to give them the guide right away. Don't do any of that old school, weird lead magnet stuff where you're like, oh, the guide's in your inbox. Right, let me sell you on this. Don't do any of that. Give them the PDF, the slide deck right away. And again, this is meant to this slide deck, and you'll see when you download a copy of the 5-point guide that Instant has, it's a strategy deck. It is there to teach a transformation. It is not some 50-page weird thing. This is for executives, it's for high-level buyers. What you're really teaching them is a transformation. So it's a 5-slide deck. Think of it like a McKinsey deck. I call this a manifesto. So once they get into it, you want to give them the deck right away, but then you also want to give a direct CTA to book a call. You want to give them a direct CTA to book a call. Now, if you're not sales driven, you're more product driven, you can give a direct CTA to start a trial or try the product as well. Either is fine. 20 to 30% of people will do that right away. And that's what we see in the stats in Instant. But then you don't want to wait there because you want to capture the other 70%. You want to nurture them. So the next thing you want to do is you then put an SDR or a BDR to outbound nurture these people on a one-on-one basis. Instant's great for this because they tee up the email, they have a whole lead board, they write the email for you and a human can review it, personalize it, and send it off. Super powerful. So you want to make sure you go one-on-one and outbound into them. And this frame is totally different because this is not where, hey, heard on G2 that you're interested in a solution, you want to book a call. It's nothing like that. These emails are different because you're like, hey, you downloaded our 5-point guide. So what's going on in your world? What do you think of the content? How can we help? Can we book a call? Totally different, which is why the hit rate is way higher. The third thing you want to do is you want to retarget these people. Meta, LinkedIn, pretty much any platform can put in pixels and you can retarget these people and say, hey, you grabbed a copy of our guide, here are case studies. Or you looked at our case studies, here is a link back to booking the sales call. So you can now do retargeting to do full cycle and actually retarget these people and bring them back into the fold, serve them more content so they actually get into your sales call. But by then, you'll have educated them, you'll have built trust, you'll have looked at your case studies, they'll have understood your point of view in the market and why you're different. Huge difference. And then finally, in addition to the one-to-one emails going out, you want to have an email nurture sequence. This is more marketing under the brand. You want to have an email nurture sequence that again is educating them a bit more and actually showing trust and sharing why your company is uniquely different, sharing your case studies. So this way what happens is you bring them in on the educational content, they get into your funnel as an inbound lead, and then you have a direct CTA to book a meeting, you're doing outbound one-to-one, you are retargeting them on the social platforms, and you're email nurturing them. It creates a stereo sound effect around the buyer, and that way your competitor doesn't stand a chance because now they're being educated by you, they're trusting you, they're looking at your case studies. They may at some point say, hey, maybe I should look at 1 or 2 competitors and go to G2, but you're gonna be their guy. And by the time they get on a sales call, these sales calls are going to be easier. The key here is back in the day when we did outbound and we got a lot of meetings, and you may get some meetings now, that has a 20% win rate. But when you have an inbound lead coming to you and being nurtured by this new marketing playbook, you will see rates of 50 to 70%. Now, every company is different, every industry, every buyer is different, the competitor dynamics might be different, but those are the numbers I see when you incorporate this marketing playbook. So let's recap on what this new SaaS marketing strategy looks like, especially in 2026 and beyond, on how you can drive growth for your B2B AI and SaaS business. Number one, you want to do educational content on organic and paid social. What you don't want to do is pay for shared leads anymore. You don't want to pay the G2s, the Capteras, because they're selling those leads to everyone else as well. Those are intent leads, but really now you got to go outbound into them and figure out how to get on a call. It just sucks. Google leads, Google Blue links, well, they may be okay, but let's be real. They're going to click on your link and then the next link and the next link and the next link, and they probably already have a vendor that they already like. Instead, you want to get them early before they're even searching on Google for the solution, before they're looking on Captera or G2 for the solution. You want to get in on their social feeds, educate them, and really build the trust and get in early before they even get into the buying mode. Number two, as they consume your content, whether it's on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Meta, whatever it is, you want to offer a 5-slide deck as a lead magnet. Check out that deck that Instant has so you can see what this looks like, and also you'll learn more about how to implement all this. And then number three, as you get inbound leads, you want to have a direct CTA to booking a call or starting a trial. You want to have an outbound nurture. You want to have a retargeting ad. You want to make sure that you also have an email nurture sequence to further educate. All of these will drive towards booking a sales call, and these sales calls are going to be easier because these are people that intentionally are booking these calls and coming in educated on why you are the best for the problem that they have. At that point, you just really have to have a really tight sales process and win these deals. I've seen win rates go up. I've seen sales cycles collapse. And I've seen competitive dynamics completely shift because you're getting into the buyer's mind way earlier before they even think about going to a G2 or Captera page, which is really incredible. So now you know what this new marketing playbook looks like, what this new SaaS marketing strategy is for winning today in 2026 and beyond. Now, if you want to implement all this, you should absolutely check out Instant. Instant is a demand demand acquisition platform. They are the ones sponsoring this video. They're the ones that make it possible for me to do these YouTube episodes. It's one of my portfolio companies, and they are a platform that will help you implement all of this end to end, from writing the content, the landing pages, the actual lead magnet, the nurture emails, the ad images and creative, end to end. There are a set of agents that will create all of this for you. If you want to learn more about how to implement all these 3 pieces, how to use Instant, then make sure you check out their guide. The 5-point demand acquisition strategy guide is completely free, goes in depth into exactly how to implement this new marketing playbook. Just go to useinstant.com/demand. Useinstant.com/demand, and you will get access to that guide. You'll get a page like this, and you'll be able to actually put in your email, and you're in right away. You get access to it right away. If you got value from this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. I also drop an episode like this every single Sunday, bringing you actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches. From being an operator of multiple companies as part of my holding company, I'm bringing you what's working for our own companies and our clients. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, where you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. If you have a fellow CEO, a fellow VP of marketing, a fellow founder that would get value from this video, please share this with them. We put a lot of love into these videos. We want to help as many folks out there as possible. If you got value from this and you had an aha moment, the like button is the YouTube algorithm's love language, the like button. My love language are comments. So be sure to put in the comments what aha moment you had, what your thoughts are. If you're excited about this, just put a yes even. If you're like, I'm gonna implement this right away. If you're now in the stage where like, now I know the new SaaS marketing strategy, but you wanna see how this feeds into a broader SaaS go-to-market strategy, which is marketing and sales, then check out this video. This is the new go-to-market strategy that's working for SaaS and AI companies today in 2026. Lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is gonna be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, everybody.